Well, unlike the Washington football team, on and off the field with Durf and Dylan is here, and we have no lawsuits against us. So we are here for a long time. We're not looking to change our name. We haven't pimped out any cheerleaders. We are doing fantastic over here at On and Off the Field. Welcome, and thank you for joining us wherever you're tuning in from, whether that be any podcasting platforms, the RTF Sports Network, wherever you may be. We are so happy that you are here with us on this fantastic day. We are recording, is it July 16th?
Yeah.
Right now we're recording July 16th. Man, what a whirlwind. We just had our live show on Tuesday, and I feel like so much has happened in the past, not even, probably 48 hours, so much has happened.
Yeah, no, it does really feel like so much has happened in the past 40 hours. It's like we're in such a different place right now compared to Tuesday.
Yeah, I feel like Tuesday wasn't just 2 days ago. I feel like it's almost been a full week. I feel like this could be the live show right now. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe that's just because we have a baby and it's felt like a lot longer.
Yeah.
I could probably attribute to it as well. But yeah, so here we are. I mean, how you doing today? Are you surviving?
Oh, yeah, I'm surviving. Surprisingly, work wasn't terrible, but went and got myself a mountain bike tonight.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, nice. I got to get the derailleur fixed on it, but I talked to a bike shop and they said it was pretty cheap to fix and replace. So, yep, bike sold.
Nice. And then we'll bring it up now instead of the end of the episode like on Tuesday. I see you got your Bills sign lit up, and it's looking nice. That's nice.
Yeah, I like the way it turned out.
If you're listening to this on the radio or any podcasting platforms that isn't, if you're not listening on YouTube, you got to go to YouTube because that sign is dope.
Definitely.
So besides YouTube, and if you don't know how to find us on YouTube, there's a very easy way to find it, and all of our other platforms, and Durf will tell you all about that.
Yeah, so you can find On and Off the Field, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Like Dylan said, make sure to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe for uncut episodes like this one, our live shows on Tuesday nights, and other great content. Head on over to onandoffthefield.com to learn more about the show, as well as where you can find our episodes and the charities that we are involved in. Also, while you're listening to our podcast, go ahead and rate and review the show on iTunes so we know how we're doing and what you like or dislike about the show. Last but not least, head on over to rtfsportsnetwork.com where you can catch On and Off the Field on our live show on Tuesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our recorded show is now on Fridays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And while you're on the rtfsportsnetwork.com website, check out all the blogs that we have there. We have some really talented writers. There's a lot of great stuff there. It's only going to get better. So check it out. Get reading. Let us know what you think.
And speaking of iTunes, this time, instead of just talking about the blog writers at the end there like I normally do, actually on iTunes, we're up to 11 ratings.
Wow.
We have 10 5-star reviews, and then we have some guy who just came in and gave us a 3. I'm not sure why. Thanks a lot, dude. But we also have, and he didn't even leave a review. That's the problem. I don't care if you give me 3 stars. You just got to tell me why it's 3 stars.
Right.
But we also, the big part is we have 2 new reviews of On and Off the Field from Ridiculous Patronus 1. I don't know. That's just what it just says that. It just says awesome. If you're a fan of the NFL and college football, it's a must add. Great breakdown of the pandemic and the in-conference schedules and Notre Dame. Great chemistry and detailed information. If you like football, it's a must add. And then just from 21 hours ago from Bud and Max, it says football and more football. 5 stars.
Nice. That first review, that must have been just after our last show.
Right. Yeah. I think it was that it wasn't our live show. It was last Thursday's show,
last
our last
Thursday's show,
recording.
yeah.
Yeah. Because that's when we broke down a lot of the college football stuff after the Big Ten and Pac-12 said they'd play in conference. We talked about Notre Dame a little bit. So you can go back and check out that episode. You can check out any episode you want. iTunes, Spotify, RTF Sports Network, all kinds of things. And all of those links are at onupfield.com, like Durf just got done telling you. Also on that website is our charities tab. We still have Feeding America going, and we have the Boys and Girls Club of America currently going, and that's where our fantasy football league money is going to go to.
Oh, yeah.
The OOTF Fantasy Football League will be ran on Yahoo. We currently have 6 participants, so we're looking for anyone who wants it. We'll make 2 leagues if we have to. We'll do it. I'm not scared. We will do whatever we have to do. It's a $20 buy-in, but the money goes to charity. So if you want to give 40, 50, if you just feel like you want to give, go ahead and give. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to collect the money. I mean, I have Venmo. I might just end up doing that, but somehow, some way, I'll end up getting the money. Or we could just do it straight through the fundraiser on our website. That's probably a better idea.
Oh, yeah.
Because you enter your name when you donate the money.
Yeah.
And so I can see who does it. So actually, that's a good way to do that. I think I'll officially say donate through the fundraising link on onthefield.com. And when I see your name there, you'll officially be in the league. Perfect. I like that. Because then there's no like giving me money and then I have to give it to them. And then there's like transaction fees. Don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah. So you just have to be a part of the OOTF family page, group page on Facebook. And that's really it. So if you want to be a part of it, just let us know. Slide into our DMs.
Yeah.
And we'll be waiting for you. We can't wait. Can't wait to get it started. And disclaimer, if you give us the money for the league and we start it and the season's canceled, I can't give you your money back. just putting it out there. It's at charity. I can't ask for the money back. So just so you know, that's our disclaimer moving forward. But I think that's everything. Yeah. That is all of our news for you. Well, I guess one last thing I'm supposed to be pushing as the social media person for the RTF Sports Network. August 3rd is a big rebranding day for the RTF Sports Network. That way, at least we have tentatively scheduled. We're going to be rebranding with a lot of shows, a lot of our top shows on the network, adding a couple of days to their recording schedule. So if you like Strikeout Beer, I believe they're on Wednesday nights. They go live. If you like them, I think one of our expectations moving forward, they might be recording 2 or 3 times a week now. You know, if you like Infinity Sports, you could probably hear them a couple more times. I think they're one of our shows that we're hoping adds a couple to the network. So it's a big rebranding day. So make sure you're following RTF Sports Network on all the social media platforms to make sure you're like in the loop on all of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I did my job now. So there. All righty. So if that is it, we are ready to move into our first segment. The other sports. God damn it. I hate that so much. I am working on something for that. I just have to find the right tool to create it.
Oh, yeah. We should make it like a sound effect or something. That would be a lot smarter. But you know what? We just do what
StreamYard has a lot of capabilities that I'm learning about. So I'm starting to take advantage of them. So I'll once it's created, I'll let you know. Hopefully I can get it done this weekend. That'd be nice to have it ready for the live show.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So the first matter of business for the other sports is Zion Williamson has left the bubble.
Oh, man.
He is attending to an urgent family matter. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the assumption is he'll be let back in after he goes through a lot of testing. I'm sure he'll have to be quarantined. But the question is, if he gets back in time, I mean, they're playing in, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Just a little more than just a tick over 2 weeks. They're going to start playing basketball. And if he takes his time getting back, let's say he doesn't test positive, is he going to be allowed back on the court like right then and there?
Zion's probably going to have to for sure quarantine when he comes back, and I think it's going to be similar to what the other players had to get sucked into when they didn't follow the rules and get more rigorous testing, go back into quarantine for 10 to 14 days. But yeah, I think it really depends on when he comes back from this family matter. Which I mean, I hope everything's okay with it, for him, and whatever it is, he can get through it and be better on the other side. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how crunched of a timeline he ends up having to get back to playoffs. If the Pelicans can get through these 8 games that they have set up to figure out their playoff teams.
Yeah, the Pelicans, they're not even in the playoffs. They're just here to have fun for 8 games is to try and make their way in. So they need him for all 8 of those games. So like you said, we hope everything's not terrible. I hope this situation is resolved, or because there's no information about whatever the family matter is.
Right.
But plus there's a lot of lawsuit stuff going on with his family and Duke. So it might be related to that, but it could also just be, like death in the family kind of stuff. But we hope it's nothing like that. But the Pelicans need him back for those 8 games. They really, because I think they're behind 3 games with the Grizzlies. They can't afford to lose out on any of those games. But other than that, it's been relatively quiet for anything that we talked about on Tuesday. I mean, obviously a lot of stuff happened over the weekend with the bubble, but we already covered all of that. You can check out Tuesday's live show episode to hear about that. But on the greens today, boy oh boy. Well, I thought I could watch it, but Prime Videos was gonna make me pay for it, so I actually didn't end up watching it. I was very mad. But Tiger Woods returned to the course after 5 months off. Tiger Woods played today at the Memorial, and he didn't do too bad. It was a blustery day out on the course. It wasn't perfect conditions. You saw a lot of golfers struggle. The guy, I believe it's Tony Finau, is in the lead right now at 6 under. He's sitting alone at the top. So 6 under after the first day. We've seen a lot of people shoot better than that throughout the first couple of these tournaments. So Tiger ended up 1 shot under par, which is a 71, and he tees off tomorrow at 8:17 a.m. Quick turnaround.
That is a really quick turnaround.
He didn't tee off until, I believe, 1:17.
Yeah, today. It was a late one.
So I would imagine he finished up sometime around 5, somewhere between 5 and 6. That's a quick turnaround. That's going to hurt. So hopefully his back's okay. But the other big news, we talked about Bryson DeChambeau. And we talked about him on Tuesday a little bit about, man, there's a lot of speculation about this guy might be kind of like needle in the arm in it. The dude is an absolute monster of a figure. And today he smacked a golf ball 423 yards.
Wow. Ooh. That's a long, long way.
I didn't even know something like that was possible. Like Happy Gilmore hole in one on a par 4, I think. I think it was a par 4, and people were like, "Wow, how'd you do it, Happy?" And it's just like, "Oh, no one will ever do that." Bryson might be the first guy to ever do that. It's like looking like Happy Gilmore over here. Bryson DeChambeau, holy crap! 423 yards. That is literally the distance of a hole. Most holes.
Yeah, like. That's got to be like the straightest hole on that golf course to hit it that far.
That's true. Yeah, that's also very true. I'd like to see that whatever hole he hit that on. I'd like to see the green layout,
right?
Because a lot of these like championship courses, they're not straight. There's a lot of twists and turns and bends and trees. Like if you hit it 423 yards, that better be pretty straight. That better be a pretty straight hole. Yeah, and he ended the day 1 over par. But we'll see. We'll see if he bounces back. There's a lot of people that struggled out there today, but except Tony Finau, 6 under. for the day. And we got one other piece of other sports here. Fred, you go ahead and take this one away.
All right. So a little bit of kind of local other sports for us in the podcast here. New York State Public High School Athletic Association, or NISFA,
Nestfasa.
announced today that it is delaying the start of fall high school sports seasons and canceling fall regional and state championships. So that's pretty surprising that now it's affecting younger athletes. NIFSA says that the fall season is expected to start Monday, September 21st. It has also is prepared to implement a condensed season schedule in January 2021 if high school sports remain prohibited throughout 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's the part that I would expect to happen, because I think that's what's happening with all fall sports, even professional.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of, and that's interesting to see. Like you said, that's now affecting, as we all pay attention to the professional sports and even college football to a certain extent. But now it's even going down another level to the high school region, and that sucks. Yeah, we've already seen it with like seniors during spring sports. They got screwed out of their final season if they're a senior in high school, and now we might see this with fall seniors missing out on their season. But at least they have a possibility to play in January. But let's be honest, it's New York. Where there's no I know, like back in my hometown of Pulaski, there's no indoor football stadium. You're probably gonna end up having to drive to Syracuse for every single one of your games.
So I did see a little bit of a proposed schedule plan if they do have to move it to next year in the spring. Their condensed schedule plan is actually doing all 3 seasons of sports at 10 weeks apiece. So a little bit of overlap. So like starting in January, you would actually have winter sports. So like basketball, wrestling.
Yeah.
A couple, I can't remember.
Swimming, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Unless that's fall, I'm not sure.
You have those for 10 weeks. So that puts you middle of March.
Yeah.
Middle of March towards the end of March, depending on how early in January they start. Well, then now your fall sports are starting in the beginning of March and going to the beginning of May. So now,
interesting.
So it's a little warmer. So you're not playing in 4 feet of snow. But then your spring sports start in April and go to June for 10 weeks. So a little bit of overlap. It could make multi-sport athletes have a very tough half a year. I'm sure their parents would not like this so much. They'd be like, "Hey, you're gonna play one sport
on Tuesday, and my tennis match is on Thursday. Let's do it." Yeah. And then you got people that are in marching band. Like I played sports and did marching band. All right, I got marching band practice on Wednesday. I got a game on Thursday and a match on Friday. It's gonna be a heck of a week. Rest in peace to your grades.
Yeah.
It's an interesting plan. It's a well thought out plan.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think that's what you have to go in with, though. Like you have to.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've seen a lot of organizations do, is that you have to have a detailed plan or everything fails. And get everybody to follow that detailed plan.
Yeah, 100. Well, that's the problem we're seeing with professional sports is people don't want to go with those detailed plans. But it is kind of funny that you see New York State has a better plan for high school sports than like Major League Baseball had for the return of its sport. I know it's a lot. It's obviously across the entire country, so it's harder. But it's just kind of funny. They come out with this and like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And here's our backup plan. And Major League Baseball is like, here's what we're going to do. And everyone said no. And they're like, oh, crap. Now what do we do? I thought they would have just agreed to it right off the bat. Crap. What do we do now? Hey, hats off to New York. New York's been doing a pretty good job with like the COVID thing in general.
Yeah.
They've done a general pretty good job. you can ask a lot of New Yorkers their opinion on Cuomo, Governor Cuomo, and some of them are ready to protest today because he handed down a new law, or a new temporary law, I should say, where if you want to go to the bar or restaurant, you have to sit at a table and you have to order food with your drink. You can't just go and walk up to the bar and like sit at the bar with 10 other people. You have to sit at a table with a couple people, and you have to sit there for a little while, drink your beer, eat some food. And man, people are mad.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like that was like the last straw. Really, you can't walk up to a bar to get your Bud Light. So now this is why you're going to protest. This is why you're going to rally.
Well, this is why I drink at home.
It's
much cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper. It's more relaxing.
Yeah,
people are nuts. People are nuts, man. New Yorkers are just. We ready to move on?
I think so.
We're ready to move on to NFL news,
Yeah.
the sport where we actually know what we're talking about. And we're finally here. We finally made it. Oh boy, let's do it. For the past couple days, there has been some speculation that coming out of the Washington Football Club, that there was going to be some news. And yes, we all know there is a name change coming and someone holds the trademarks and they're dealing with that. But to this point, that is by far the smallest issue they have to deal with.
Yeah.
Because apparently this Dan Snyder ran team, which let me just throw this out here. The verbiage that's been used the past 2 days is that there's going to be some shocking news coming down about the Washington team being a toxic culture. It's Dan Snyder. It's been a toxic culture for a long time. That's not really something that's changed. Come on now. But some of the details that have been released recently, that's the shocking part. Let's just read a couple things here. This is more about people that have moved on from the organization. People these are the initial people things might be leaking from. But the NFL team, they hired D.C. attorney Beth Wilkinson to review the organization's protocols, including its culture, policies, allegations of workplace misconduct. Wilkinson has represented the NFL in a lawsuit challenging the league's Sunday ticket package and has also represented the NCAA and the MLB. So she's been around. She's worked with sports before.
She's done some work over this.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing. Speculation swirled around an upcoming story about the Washington Post, which was published late Thursday afternoon. The story involves allegations by 15 former employees, all women, of sexual harassment by former scouts and members of owner Dan Snyder's inner circle. Within the past week, front office members Richard Mann III, which is just I just hate that name in general. Richard Mann III and Alex Santos, as well as radio play-by-play voice Larry Michael, left the organization. All three are accused of misconduct in this story, and has been reported that 3 minority shareholders are seeking to sell their interest in the team, and they've hired an investment bank to vet the buyers. So generally what I've seen, like this is all stuff about how, they hire this attorney, they're getting ready for it's just about to get real messy up in here. People are starting to get the heck out of town. And the things that I've seen, I don't know if they're true. It's just stuff that came off of Twitter. You can't trust Twitter, but there's been things like Dan Snyder's holding on to nude photos of the cheerleaders as like blackmail.
Oh, wow.
He's pimped out the cheerleaders to season ticket holders in the past. The best one is Jay Gruden. When he was the head coach there was a running back. His last name was Bibbs. Maybe Josh Bibbs. I'm not entirely sure it is. But Bibbs was benched for a game. And I remember that happening. He was starting to play pretty well in Darius Geis's absence. And there was a game where he got benched. And that's the same game where Alex Smith broke his leg. We all know that story. Running back missed a block. J.J. Watt and someone else comes in. So Bibbs, the running back, is benched. The replacement running back misses a block, and which results in Alex Smith's leg blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
The story has it the reason Bibbs was benched was because Jay Gruden benched him after finding out Bibbs and Gruden were sleeping with the same woman.
Oh, snap.
If that's true, that's
Oof.
just God help Jay Gruden in that situation. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow.
And obviously just other things. There was one that said Jay Gruden's been paying off refs, which obviously Dan Snyder's been paying off refs. And there's some refs that have made over $2 million off of bribes from Snyder, which I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the bribes aren't working because I don't think they've had a winning record in like 7 years, but that's besides the point. The refs are just taking that money and running away. I don't know what they're doing. But some of these stories have just been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And things are just going to leak. Like the facts will leak out here slowly. And obviously, the 15 former employees coming forward about the sexual harassment just in itself. Take all the other stories out of it that might be true, it might not be true. That alone is just shocking. And then you add in the Trent Williams, whole history with Trent Williams. This organization is an absolute disaster. And at this point, I think the Washington football team might not need a new name.
Because they won't exist.
Sell the team, take them out of existence, and just move it somewhere else. This area does not want a football team at this point, I don't think.
I'm sure Oakland wants.
Yeah, go back to Oakland area. St. Louis
wants a team. San Diego.
Hey, let's go back. Let's go to St. Louis. It's the NFC East. St. Louis is generally East. You can still stay in the NFC East and be closer to that over there. So bring back, give St. Louis their team back. They had the Battlehawks there for the XFL.
Yeah,
okay, let's do it.
St. Louis Arch Runners.
St. Louis Arch Runners.
Yeah, that could be a name.
The Arch.
Yeah,
that's clever. Right off the, you just came up with that.
Oh yeah, right off the tongue.
That's pretty good. That's easy. Hey, don't say that. Don't. Someone's going to go copyright that now. They're going to get the trademark for that. Crap. We should do that quickly. Yeah, quickly trademark that. Jump on some website and buy that real quick. Yeah. I mean, it's the Redskins. I mean, I could ask you for your take on it if you want. I mean, what is there?
There's not much to really have a take on. I mean, this Redskins organization from top down is about to get completely wiped out. It seems like there's so much stuff that they swept under the rug. It seems like. I mean, you gotta see the facts first and see what comes out.
Right.
But just based on the speculations that have come out and the fact that you have 15 former employees that are saying that there's sexual harassment going on in this organization, it's just not good. Like there's too much there's going to be too much evidence for this team to survive with Dan Snyder.
Yeah. He'll be forced to sell the team. There's no way by the time this is over, Dan Snyder is the owner of the Redskins or the Washington team. There's not a chance. No chance.
But
yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, hey, maybe we'll just ban the team. We'll send all their players to all the other 31 teams. See what we can do for an NFL season.
There you go. There you go. And just one last point on that, isn't it? Does it feel weird that they hired a female lawyer to defend themselves? Like,
I think that the PR stunt
seems a little odd.
Well, if you hire a male lawyer, then that could be them just being true. The other way. So I think it's more of a PR situation, but
that's true.
Let's just see what they can get.
I guess I just look at it at first and be like, "Wow, that's really weird." But I guess you have a point there. If it's a male, it's probably a worse situation. So okay, I'll listen to that. But moving on, from that just grossness, we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, it's going to be something that's going to be broken down heavily over the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. 12 days until training camp is supposed to start. I'll heavily implement the fact supposed to start. Yeah. That's real fun. But the reason we say it's supposed to start, 72 players have tested positive in the NFL as of July 10th. And the assumption is, well, there's probably more than that. You never know. But there's also a lot of things that the NFL and the NFLPA need to work out. And people say this, well, the NFL will be fine. They have all of this time in the world to figure all this stuff out. We said this back in like May. Oh, the NFL will figure all this out before the season gets here. Guess what? 12 days until training camp. They're nowhere close to getting these negotiations figured out. The NFLPA has a couple of demands here. No escrow of 2020 salaries. They want a flat salary cap of 198.2 for the 2021 season. They want to spread the revenue loss over the 2022 and 2030 caps. The players would be paid a COVID-19 risk stipend of up to $500,000 if games are canceled. The NFLPA still wants preseason canceled and more testing done. And the NFLPA does not want the virus listed as a non-football injury. Being able to try and hide it, I guess, better. Lots of things, and there's more than that. I'm sure they're talking about. They still have to talk about the face mask covers, the mouth covers, like we talked about on Tuesday. I'm sure they're still working out. If there's some kind of bubble situation, travel they still have to talk about. They still have to talk about players being able to opt out of the season, and if they opt out of the season, are they going to lose a year off their contract? Are they still going to be paid? It's none of this has been decided. They haven't talked about this at all. None of it. They haven't talked about it. It's just sitting out there still. Yeah. At least there's dialogue, but they have agreed on nothing. This is scary.
It really is, because you're going to end up with no preseason. They're not going to start training camp now until September, because it's going to take them that long to figure everything out. They're going to be a month behind on the season. They could shorten it. They really could.
Yeah, they talked about a while ago, like moving those first 4 games to the back end of the schedule.
Yeah.
They talked about that a while ago, so that could buy them some time if they wanted to.
Right. So it's just not looking good. There's too many variables coming up now that they didn't have planned out 2 months ago, and they should have.
Yeah. I go back to the example that I heard on Dan Patrick's show. It's like you're getting ready for, I believe you're getting ready for like that big test in college or high school or whatever, your finals, and you're like, I got all year to study for that. The final's not for another 2 weeks. I got time for that. Oh, the final's a week away. I got enough time. Oh, the final's tomorrow. Oh shit. The final's tomorrow. Oh God. Then you cram in all of this studying and you end up flunking or something. That's kind of with the situation we're at with the NFL.
I'm well familiar with that from college.
All right. There was many scenarios where I was playing, like I would have a midnight deadline to type something up and put it in online. I'd be sitting there playing video games. I look at my phone. It's 11:30. I cram out a paper in 25 minutes, submit it, and go back to playing video games. I mean, that was literally my college career.
Yeah.
C's get degrees, baby, all day. Yeah, D's don't get degrees. That's a lie. Whoever told you D's get degrees, they do not. Because I got a D and it did not work out. So, yeah, I had to retake that class. D's do not get degrees. That's a lie. That's a lie, kids. Take that one to the bank. I can let you take the Buffalo Bills news if you want. That seems proper.
Yeah. All right. So if you haven't heard, it was announced Wednesday that the Buffalo Bills and New Era are splitting ways, and the Bills Stadium will no longer be named New Era Field. Pretty much. But this comes after New Era had fallen on hard times over the past few months and laid off a large number of employees from their Western New York businesses. So the Bills were not a fan of that, because you don't lay off the people who work around the stadium for the team the stadium you're named after. So now there's a lot of speculation of like there's a lot of names out there, or companies, like who's going to get the naming rights. I've heard a lot of different things. There's been a couple funny ones. One that
Did you see my favorite one yet? Did you see that one?
I don't know if I've seen the one yet. I saw one today. Which one did you see?
Tushy.
Oh, I saw that one today. Yeah. So it was Buffalo radio station posted an article about this company called Tushy, which is a bidet manufacturer company. Like they turn your toilet into a bidet or a.
I think it's like an attachment you can like hook up to your water line.
Right.
Yeah.
There was like a phrase for it, but I can't remember what it was. But it was like so like cliche or for a bidet. But yeah, so that was the current one I've seen today. That the stadium could be called Tushy Stadium.
Please let it happen.
And that Tushy wants to get a college football game there, like a bowl game, and call it the Toilet Bowl.
I mean, what more could you ask for? That's literally everything you would need. I don't know why. I don't know. Forget the money. Forget the money. Just take the bid and be like, yes, please. Yes, this is what we want.
I've heard a couple others. Like I've heard, there was a couple.
Just think of the bathrooms. They put the Tushy bidets in the bathrooms in the stadium. Those would be the nicest toilets in the NFL. Sorry, I just thought that'd be great.
That would be different. So I've also heard they could call it Bills Mafia Stadium.
That'd be.
Don't see how that would work because it's class. It's clever because of the fan base, but the fan base isn't a company. So next,
they could turn it into like a Green Bay situation.
They could.
You know,
they very well could.
Let people buy shares, and the fans can name the stadium, and that could be a good situation.
Yeah. I've also heard that the Bills should talk to Ralph Lauren because they could call it the Ralph, so it could go back to being called the Ralph.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be a little clever play on words there to play into some history of the Buffalo Bills. I've also heard a couple different ideas to do like a Costco or like what's the like Rubbermaid or something like that, because they could be like the folding table company.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot Rubbermaid made the folding tables. See, they would never do that though because they're trying to get rid of that culture.
Right.
They're really trying to kill it, like because they're sick of people hurting themselves on their property and around the stadium and stuff. So, I highly doubt they would do that. But I'd love that though. That'd be so cool.
That would be funny. Like I can't remember how it said it, but I've also heard a local company for us. I heard it was kind of. It's probably not true, but you could see Wegmans going for it. But I doubt it.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me.
I think that was a gag one, but that'd be pretty funny.
That would be kind of funny, yeah.
I might go back and work for Wegmans if that happened. That would be a great investment opportunity for them, I'm sure. But everyone around here already shops at Wegmans. You're not really going to make more money,
right? And
so I probably
going bankrupt anyway. So
yeah, they're going to be fine. So yeah, put your bid-ins to be the new name of the Bills Stadium because New Era is out, but they will still probably be selling New Era gear inside the stadium, so New Era does not care.
Well, I think New Era is pretty much the only company that makes sports memorabilia like that.
At the end of the day, they don't really care. They're going to lose the name of the stadium, but they're still going to sell all the gear, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Oh well. Moving on to some player news.
Yeah.
Some long-term deals got done. Kind of at the bell. Derrick Henry was like at the buzzer.
Oh yeah.
That was at like 3:50 p.m. on on Wednesday. That was close. But Derrick Henry signed a 4-year deal, $50 million and $25.5 million in guarantees. That's pretty good money.
That's really good money for a running back.
He robbed the Titans, and I just don't buy it. Derrick Henry, and I get it. He carried that Titans team to the playoffs, and they beat the Ravens. They almost beat the Chiefs. I mean, they were ahead of them early in the game, at least. I just don't. Derrick Henry was not good. for the first 3 years of his contract with him being on the team, he was a bust.
Yeah.
Everyone called him a bust.
Mm-hmm.
He had one really cool 99-yard rushing touchdown. It's like, oh, Derrick Henry's back.
Yeah.
And he's not. And then he had this really amazing spurt at the end of the season, and in the playoffs, he does really good, and everyone loves him now.
Mm-hmm.
For 4 more years of him, no. The way he runs, no. It's a bad investment. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I see your point, and I think that's the risk you take on running backs. And I think that's why you're having such an issue with the running back market right now. And that's probably why Tennessee tagged him, because you're just going to try and get another year or so out of him. You got to ship him off to get some young legs in there, then so be it. But you really see Tennessee going back, like they're sticking to their plan that they had last year when they came into the season last year, that ground and pound, solid defense, minimal quarterback issues, be conservative, probably not throw for 100 yards each game, maybe a touchdown or two, and you're just going to lean on that running back. You can do that with Henry, though. That's the thing. But you're not going to get the yardage you see in these explosive highlights every game.
And like you just got done saying, they're going to lean on the running back. They've already leaned on him for 3-4 years, however long he's been in Tennessee. And now you're going to lean on him for 4 more years. His legs just ain't going to keep up.
No.
They're just not.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't expect him to have the same productivity he had this last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. A lot of people, I know I follow a really popular fantasy football guy on Instagram, and he's like, ride Derrick Henry, pick him in fantasy. He's going to be your workhorse. I don't buy it. There's my, if you want to call it a hot take, go for it. But I'm not on the Derrick Henry train. I've never liked him in the past. He was considered a bust. He has one good, I can't even say one good season. He had one good stretch of games. He had a stretch of games where he was very, 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 very good.
Right.
And now the Titans lose Jack Conklin, and you're going to tell me they're going to be just as productive in the running game? I'm just not buying it. I'm just not.
Yeah, it'll be tricky to see how that turns out.
Another kind of at the buzzer, Myles Garrett secured the bag. I think we talked about it on Tuesday, though.
We did,
with the other one.
but it was kind of they were still working on finalizing it on Tuesday.
Right. There's like not a lot of the details dropped on that. It was kind of speculated, but it is turned out to be true.
Yep.
5 years, $125 million, and about $100 million in guarantees.
Ooh,
$100 million in guarantees. I
Damn.
wonder if any of them say you can't hit people in the head with helmets, or you lose out on like 20 mil.
Oh.
If you hit someone in the head with a helmet, you're going to lose a lot of money. And then Chris Jones, 4 years, $85 million, $60 million in guarantees. How did the Chiefs do this, by the way? Someone reminded me the other day. At the beginning of the offseason, the Chiefs had $172 in cap space. What did they do? What did they change to where they could give Patrick Mahomes $500 million and then just say, hey, Chris Jones, here's an extra 85 with 60 mil guaranteed just for fun? How? I don't get it.
Well, a lot of the points that were being brought up when the Chris Jones extension or deal was announced was that Mahomes literally sat down with the owner and was like, listen, I know you're going to pay me a boatload of money, but I know from a team's perspective that we need good players around me in order to continue to win Super Bowls. So you're going to pay me, but we're going to do it in the right way so that you guys have cap space for the next few years. I don't know where they got all this extra cap space to pay Chris Jones. It's probably not so much right now as it is next year or the 2 or 3, 4 years out is probably where he's going to make up a lot of his money.
Right.
So
because they did still tag him this year. That would have paid him a lot of money.
Right. So he's still going to get paid.
That money just turned into this first year's contract money.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to make a lot of cuts in these next 2 years. Probably just next year in general.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that they kept 20 out of 22 starters from the Super Bowl is impressive, and then still paying these guys a boatload of money.
Yeah. Like players like McCole Hardman,
Yeah.
Damian Williams,
Mm-hmm.
like these kinds of players are not going to make the cut. They're just going to redraft these players. Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would hurt to get rid of Tyreek. I'm sure they'll try and make cuts elsewhere before they get rid of Tyreek.
Right.
But if he was a cap casualty, I wouldn't be shocked. They're going to win a Super Bowl this year. I mean, pending some kind of craziness, like Patrick Mahomes getting terribly injured or Travis Kelce, like a big piece going down, they're probably going to end up winning a Super Bowl. So moving on to people that didn't get long-term deals done, we had 12 players.
Wow.
12 players that are going to play on the tag. Like, well, you know, there's players like Yannick Ngakoue, who's probably going to be traded at some point. He's already been doing talks about deals with other teams. Nothing was obviously finalized, but the talks have already happened. But a lot of these people did sign their tags, and this is what they're going to do. And this is the most amount of players that are going to play on a tag since 1993 when the tag was created. Dak Prescott, step one is officially complete. Dak Prescott will play on the tag, step one. Step two, he has a down year. Step three, he's not a Cowboy in 2021. Bada bing, bada boom. So step one is done. Dak Prescott, but he also said he couldn't be happier. He came out and said that. Those are words that he said. I could not be happier. Get out of here. Leave. Dude, you were begging for money. And you say you can't be happier. What?
It's not going to be good when he takes a lot less for another team.
It's going to suck for him. Yeah. I mean, everyone else will just laugh at him, but it's going to suck for him. He's going to lose all those Cowboys endorsements. Just being the Cowboys quarterback makes you money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's going to lose out on that. I think he goes to the Steelers, but he could also be a Jacksonville guy. He could go to a bunch of places.
Oh, yeah.
AJ Green is another player who's going to play on the tag. Justin Simmons officially signed his tag. That's a guy who we were watching maybe that got traded, but he did not. Yannick will be traded at some point. Joe Thuney, the Patriots offensive lineman, he signed it. Brandon Sheriff from the Redskins or from the Washington football. That's just going to be so weird.
It's going to take some time.
Yeah. They need a new nickname because once the new nickname comes, I could just say the new nickname. But right now, without a nickname, it's hard. Hunter Henry for the Chargers. He signed. Bud Dupree signed. There's three different players here. Bud Dupree, Matthew Judon, and Shaquille Barrett. Matthew Judon with the Ravens, Shaquille Barrett with the Bucks, and Bud Dupree with the Steelers. Filing grievances because they are listed as linebackers, but they want to be listed as defensive ends because defensive ends make more money.
Yeah. And they played that position a lot more chasing quarterbacks than they did as linebackers. So I think that's their biggest I'm blanking on the word here. That's like their biggest reason why.
Reason?
That's not what I was going for, but that's their biggest case. As to like why they should be a defensive end is because they played that position so much more over this past season, and all three of them each had more than 9 sacks last year.
Right.
You don't get that many sacks playing linebacker.
Right. Exactly. And I think the reason is I could be mistaken, and anyone can feel free to correct me on this. But just thinking in my head, do these three teams play 3-4 defenses? Because they most likely played outside linebacker, and when you're in a 3-4, that outside linebacker, whether it's the Mike or the weak spot or the strong spot, is usually rushing the quarterback. They're like in a 3-point stance, rushing the quarterback. That's just how that kind of defense works. You're still a linebacker, but you're rushing as if you were a D end. So I can understand their grievance. I don't know if the teams will bite on it, but the other two players are Leonard Williams from the Jets and Anthony Harris, safety with the Vikings. Are all going to play on the tag. So very interesting. We'll see what happens with those guys to see if they get their DN money or not. But Dak Prescott, that's my favorite.
That's a good one.
I believe
apparently they almost had a deal.
Well, yeah,
but then
the last one was like 34 or 35 a season with 110 in guarantees, and Dak said no, because I think the real issue was the report said it was 5 years, and we've seen that Dak does not want to play 5 years. He wants a shorter deal. Like, why? You're the first quarterback in history who wants a shorter deal.
Right. Like, if a team's going to pay you this much money for a longer term, I'd take that. That's more security.
So I don't see him being a Cowboy in 2021. No. Nothing looks like it's gonna. The Cowboys just won't do it. They have Andy Dalton now. They can go draft Trevor Lawrence next year if it is a down year. Yeah. They could tank, put in Andy Dalton. Let's just see what happens. Why not?
Because technically, next year when free agency, whenever that hits, he technically is not a Cowboy because he's playing on the tag, right?
Right.
So he's technically
they would have to sign. He would have to sign another tag, or because when it's your second tag, he signed a transition tag this year, not a franchise tag, and there's a minor difference there.
Okay.
So they could put him on a franchise tag next year, I believe, but you can't tag someone for more than a couple of years in a row. I don't know if it's 2 years is the max, or if 3 years is the max.
Right, which we saw with Kirk Cousins.
Right. And people like Kirk Cousins went to Dak and said, dude, the tag ain't that bad. And it's not. You're getting paid $31.4 million. Shut up and take the money. God, I hate these people. But to end the show, we are going to do a little main segment with Madden rankings. Because people have been mad about the Madden rankings. Holy cow, it's been a very rough year. Those guys who do the ratings are getting lit up this year.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I have the number one people from, let's see here, I have the top cornerbacks, safeties, pass rushers, running backs, and quarterbacks. So the number one, this is what I really found very, very shocking. Stephon Gilmore is a 99, which is obviously the highest score that you can get in Madden's a 99. And if you compare, there was two players really in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. That was Stephon Gilmore and Tre'Davious White. And then obviously Aaron Donald's in there, but Aaron Donald's he's his own little thing. But they give Gilmore a 99, and he had a very good year, to be fair. But then they put Tre'Davious White, who had almost similar stats.
Yeah.
Except Gilmore had 2 touchdowns with pick sixes, and Tre'Davious White had no pick sixes. But if you look at the rest of their stats, they are almost similar.
Yeah.
And they have White at a 90 rating overall.
Disrespectful.
The disrespect. And the overhype of Gilmore. Gilmore's talented.
Right.
Very talented.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong.
Who has the same stats at 90?
Yeah, that's insane. But it's a Patriots thing. All Patriots players are probably rated higher.
And then you go through the list for the people that are above Tre'Davious White. You have Jair Alexander at 90. I don't even know who that is.
No clue.
But it looks at the picture. I think he plays for the Packers, maybe? I have no idea. The Richard Sherman at 92.
He's
My
old.
God, Richard Sherman is not a 92. He got burnt in the Super Bowl. No way he's a 92. And then Jalen Ramsey at 94, which I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But below that, they have Marlon Humphrey, Casey Hayward, Byron Jones, Darius Slade 88 is a little low for me. Patrick Peterson also at 88, but Gilmore is not a 99. That's a big major first complaint.
No. I think
there's no 99 safety. I'll go for it.
Oh, I'll just say I think my first example that he's not a 99 is when John Brown burned him doing that deep slant for the Buffalo New England game in December. John Brown turned him around and left him 20 yards behind him, and then caught that ball. Like,
Yeah, that was like a wide
that's
open
not a
touchdown
99
catch.
cornerback there.
No. Yeah, that doesn't happen to 99s. 99s are people that literally do not allow a touchdown or like don't even allow first downs.
Right?
Like that's Richard Sherman in his prime with the Seahawks,
Right.
like in 2012 as a 99. Moving on to safeties, really nothing much here except you have Harrison Smith first with a 95, then Honey Badger at a 93, and then Jamal Adams at a 92. That's a little disrespectful. Jamal Adams at a 92. I mean, he's a top safety in the league. I would be willing to bet what brings his number down is his actual cover ability. He's very good at rushing the passer, moving up to stop the run.
Yeah.
But actually covering, I would be willing to bet if we looked at his actual stats, that probably dragged him down a little bit.
Right.
Our next 99 is pass rushers with Aaron Donald, obviously at 99. My biggest complaint over the name of this episode, this one just got me out. J.J. Watt at a 98. J.J. Watt doesn't even play anymore. The dude is, that guy from SpongeBob with the glass bones who's like selling chocolate to SpongeBob?
Yes.
Like that's J.J. Watt. And what it brings back bad memories of the Houston Texans game against the Bills.
Yeah.
Every single time J.J. Watt was on the field, the announcers would go, all right, we're waiting to see if J.J. Watt makes a big play here. He's going to make a big play here. This is where J.J. Watt thrives. He's going to make a big play here. Every single defensive snap he took, the announcers were just, oh, J.J. Watt's he's going to make a stop here. He's got to make a play. He never made a play the entire game. He was a non-factor. Yeah. He is not a 98. I will fight anyone on that. He is not a 98.
You can't be a 98 when you play less than 25% of the games per season.
And it's been like that for multiple seasons. It's not even just last season. It's multiple seasons. Yes, he fought back from a nasty injury last year. Cool. Right. Good story, bro. Doesn't mean you're a 98.
Right.
God.
Like even other big name players dropped in rankings because they're old and they switch teams.
Right. Like Richard Sherman. He used to be like 95 plus. They dropped him to 92 at least.
Yeah.
I mean, that might still even be too high, but J.J. Watt at 98, no. And they only have Myles Garrett at a 93. Jesus. It breaks my heart. Top running backs, Christian McCaffrey's obviously a 99, but number 2 is 93. Derrick Henry, 93 overall. And then Nick Chubb at 92. That's a little disrespectful. Very disrespectful is Saquon Barkley at a 91. What in God's green earth are you thinking there?
That's his updated Madden ranking because he was not a 91 when it first came out.
What was he?
He was an 88.
Oh my God.
And fans blew up social media, and then Madden went in and bumped him up to a 91.
Jesus. This dude breaks tackles like it's nothing.
Right?
The dude's a monster.
Like, this guy is a third-year player. Just look at his early tape. He's a 90. I would say a 95. The amount of skills this guy has.
If you ask these Madden people what dragged his rating down, if they said it was injuries, I would have punched him in the face because of what J.J. Watt said at 98 with his injury history, and Saquon's at 91 with his injury history. I punch you in the mouth. Top quarterbacks are I think our last 99 overall, at least for now. I don't think wide receivers have really come out yet.
No,
at least I haven't looked.
I haven't seen any big name receivers.
Yeah. I'm sure Michael Thomas will be a 99. That seems like it would make sense after the records he broke this year.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the only 99 I would hand out. But Patrick Mahomes is a 99 overall. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yep. Russell Wilson at number 2 with a 97. Lamar Jackson with a 94 at number 3. And then you have Drew Brees at number 4. Tom Brady at a 90. The rest of these I'm not really mad at.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not upset about the quarterback rankings, to be completely honest. Some people think they're sleeping on Lamar. But his passing ability, they gave him a 94. That's pretty good. Yeah.
And this is where I was kind of going back to the J.J. Watt conversation with players like getting older, not playing as much, playing statistically less or worse. Brady went from a 96 last year at the Patriots to a 90 with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Like, the guy is old and doesn't get nearly as injured as J.J. Watt, but he still dropped in Madden by 6 points. J.J. Watt should have dropped like 15.
At least statistically, Tom Brady had an off year last year in most of those games, but so did JJ.
Yeah.
You cannot show me stats from JJ Watt's last season to justify a 98. You just can't.
No.
It doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. I believe that's the main rankings we had listed.
Mm-hmm.
I believe those are the only 99s we currently have. Let me take a quick look at let's see if I can even pull it up. Wide receivers. Oh boy. Overall for wide receivers. Oh, filters. I got to click on filters. Position.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get this in here. I want to see who the highest rated wide receiver they currently have is.
Are you on the Madden site?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Oh, this isn't bad. They're not ready yet.
They're not. Their receivers aren't ready to be released yet because they had guys like in the 70s.
Henry Ruggs at a 76. Yeah.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb at 75. Jerry Jeudy at 75.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson 74.
Which really isn't bad for a rookie. Like that gives them growth.
That's generous. Very generous. So with that, they put Freddie Swain for the Seahawks at 63. Rookie wide receiver, I think 6th round.
Oh.
Thought I'd throw that in there.
Right.
There's some Seahawks news for you. I think that's all the time we have for this episode, unfortunately. I hope you learned something. Hope you had some fun along the way. Stay safe. Stay away from COVID. Wear your masks. Eat. If you live in New York, order some food at a table with your beer. And as always,
all hail the Jockstrap King.